Peace. Oh boy. Peace, y'all. Welcome to another show. It is your boy, Chief Noble Bandele LME, back again for another show. Today's show, we will be dealing with the second part of the Trump conspiracy. All right. So this probably be the last thing I'm gonna talk about on Trump as far as this go. But there was other information that needed to be addressed that I didn't get to in the first part. So I wanted to get into that. So before we get into the show today, I got some good information for y'all. Before we get into the show today, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that we can grow this thing. All right. So before we also get into the show, please check out on indigenousmoors.org. Check out the one-stop shop for your Moorish indigenous needs. If you like, please check out Know Thyself Books. I have all of my books. All right. My books on there. I got King El Bay books on there. All right. So let me show it. Let me put it on here. All right. So yeah, I be trying to. I'm using this different system, so it's different than the other one. So I be messing up. But check out all our books, okay? And if you like to order merchandise or whatever, you can also order merchandise. But we got all our books. So check out me, Vandele Elamine books. Check out King El Bay books, and please check out Amin Ma'at Ra books on indigenousmoors.org. And we also have our apparel. If you'd like to buy some apparel, please go check her out. So please, without delay, do that. All right. So now that we got all that out the way, let's jump into this. Okay. So today, what we're going to be dealing with is part two in regards to this conspiracy about Trump and his assassination. Now, we calling it a conspiracy because it's things are not adding up. Anytime there's a shooting or some kind of mass shooting, you always have to look at what's going on underlining, because the powers that are here like to work covertly through different guises to keep us off track. They've been doing this stuff for 50, 60, 80 years, right? So this is nothing new that we're seeing. Now, what we didn't cover in the last video, we didn't get into who would really benefit. Now, we did start on talking about that, right? We talked about Hillary could be possibly have a motive for wanting to get rid of Trump because if he gets back in office, he would try to convict her. So, definitely Trump has a lot of enemies. One thing that popped out today through to my sources, I should say, is what's being seen today is that the BlackRock. If y'all don't know anything about BlackRock, you should learn about this giant investment group. This investment group um, is possibly, and I'll say allegedly, could be behind Trump. And I'll say why, not just because of this, but we're going to look at some of the things that's been going on with BlackRock. So the investment BlackRock pulls an ad featuring the Trump rally shooter. So what is interesting to know, we look at this. It says that this ad features crooks That name, I'm gonna tell y'all, that name is just something, right? Features crooks and several other unpaid students in the background, said the investment giant in a statement. Now, is this coincidence? I know everybody like, hey, everything is not a conspiracy, but for the sake of investigation, you're going to look at everything. Okay, you guys got to make your own decision. But the investment BlackRock had the shooter in it. Now, it's going to pick up a little bit more on this, right? We're going to let's look at let us look at the connection. So we got this is the picture, right? You got I'm gonna make it a little smaller. So you got BlackRock. The thing is connected to BlackRock, but you got now this they circled this. You got the alleged shooter in the class right there. Boom, boom. He's in there. Okay. So they got pictures showing you. Okay, this was part of that ad they had. Right now they got Unit 3 circled. Now we're gonna loop back to that, but just check it out. So we got this particular scene. Now, hold on. Now I want to show, if y'all haven't seen the ad, I'm trying to see if I got the ad somewhere so y'all can see the ad. I thought I had the ad. Let me make sure I've got the ad. Maybe I don't, but there's a commercial or an ad that we had. Okay, here we go. Let me go back to this. Here we go. All right, let's check this out, y'all. Let's look at this. I'm gonna see if I can blow it up. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear it. I'm gonna look.
Special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
Because they say you'll be able to see the shooter. Right. Let's look at this.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me. I teach AP and Honors.
Okay, so you see it right there. That's the picture that I showed you. It's got the BlackRock symbol on there, right? I got the BlackRock symbol. This is the picture that I showed you. So let's look. So you see the shooter on a BlackRock
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
All right. So definitely it's a BlackRock ad. And if you noticed, you saw the shooter at least twice on this 30-second clip, right? Check. So now let's look at what's going on with BlackRock. Since you guys is like, well, it's just an ad, right? Let us look. All right, let me make sure everything's going good in here, man. Y'all with me? If y'all with me, please like the video. Put the thumbs up. We need them thumbs up. You know what I mean? We gotta grow this thing. So let's get into this. All right. So this article from CNBC, this goes back to March 1st, 2023, and it discusses how Trump allies and wealthy donors help to fuel the GOP fight against ESG investing platforms. All right, let me make this a little bigger for y'all so we can really get into this. All right, so check this. So it says key points. At least half a dozen conservative groups are targeting Wall Street asset management firms such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street over their environmental social governance investing platforms. Y'all with me? All right. So what did this? Check it out. Some of the organizations are sponsoring or attending events held by state financial officials organizing that has members who have moved assets previously managed by BlackRock. So, Cleta Mitchell, an attorney who worked with the former president Donald Trump while he tried to overturn the 2020 presidential election, is tied to such a group, as is a nonprofit led by Leonard Leo, a former Trump judicial advisor. A group of Republican state financial officers gathered last February in a Hyatt hotel in downtown New Orleans to take aim at one of the party's corporate enemies. Do you understand this? Look, they're saying this. One of the parties, meaning the Republican Party, corporate enemies. It's BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. So there is an open battle going on between the Republican Party, aka former President Trump, and BlackRock. One panel hosted by the Republican Utah Treasurer Marlo Oaks posed a question increasingly uttered by congressional Republicans and a prospective GOP presidential candidates in recent months. Okay. The panel description asked, who's more important, shareholders or stakeholders? Is the stakeholders capitalism being sold by Larry Fink and other investors really stakeholder politics? The conference was organized by the conservative leaning State Financial Officers Foundation. Of course, a tax exempt, of course, a 501c3, right, group that does not publicly disclose its donors. The group is at the center of a growing network of organizations aligned with pockets of the Republican Party that have grown more comfortable criticizing investing firms such as BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street for what critics call politically motivated investing plans. Okay? So you guys understand that the Republican Party is very, they're very on to the investing type of tactics that are being used by these particular investment groups. A year after the panel in New Orleans, incoming House GOP committee chairs and GOP White House hopefuls, such as former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, have put Wall Street's environmental, social, and governance investing policies near the top of their political hit list. Now, you would think, oh, that's not a big deal, but if you don't know anything about BlackRock, then you should learn. BlackRock is the biggest investment company in the world. I mean, pretty much everything they got their hands, they've invested in pretty much everything. So they are a very, not just important, but they could be dangerous. Anytime a company has that kind of power, they can become dangerous. And when you've got politicians that are fighting against these type of organizations, these type of investment groups, that they've got the money and the power to stop, politicians. One thing I want to say before I keep going is, corporations are a major player in the game of politics. They are very involved in what's going on politically because they want to make sure that they continue to make money. And when anybody gets in their way, you could be eliminated. So no one is above being eliminated by these particular corporation investment groups, these large conglomerates, uh, corporate entities. They are bigger than government in many cases, and they have the money and influence to wipe people out. You know, if you look at JFK, he was going up not just against, um, government agencies, but he had private investors like the Federal Reserve and people like that who were against him. So anytime you messing with somebody's money, it can get gangster on you. You understand what I'm saying? So you got people like this. Look, I just want to show like boycott BlackRock. So BlackRock is not, anytime you get big like this, you're going to form enemies against the people. The people generally that know about BlackRock are not really for BlackRock. Okay. More than half a dozen conservative groups have helped to drive the criticism of this. So a lot of conservative groups is against this. And they know that if Trump gets back in office with the power that he has, he will be able to do some type of regulation about BlackRock. BlackRock doesn't want any regulation. BlackRock wants to continue doing what they're doing. And what's crazy is I don't really hear liberals like attacking BlackRock. Now I could be wrong. If anybody knows, anybody hit me in the chat box, leave a comment if I'm wrong. But based on this article and based on the things I've seen, this is the predominant adversaries to BlackRock is the Republicans. All right. So let that be known that there is a connection between the alleged shooter and BlackRock's opposition to the GOP. Check. Are y'all with me? All right. Let's keep going in this. I'm not gonna stay on here too long, y'all. I'm not gonna bore y'all to death. I'm just trying to put some things together, put some things on your mind. All right. That's it. So we've looked at BlackRock. And the other issue is looking at George Soros. Now, George Soros, we talked about George Soros for a little bit, but we really didn't get into it. What is George Soros? Now I'm not gonna go into George Soros as far as his background. I'm gonna just give you a simple background on George Soros. But George Soros is a big wig. He's a billionaire. And he is a progressive, if you will. I would say he's far left on the spectrum of politics, and he has been linked to funding different organizations to carry out certain things allegedly. Okay, now he's got a son. George Soros is pretty old. George Soros is kind of in the background. He's always played the background, but he's got a son, Alex Soros. So how does Alex Soros or the Soros family connect? Well, like I said, they really didn't like Trump. They really don't. So we're going to look at this. We're going to look at what's going on. So it ties into what's going on because like I said in the last video, Donald Trump is up in the polls. His popularity hasn't waned. He's still popular among the people. And Joe Biden is struggling to keep up with him. So let's look at Alex Soros is the son of billionaire George Soros. And has issued a warning, to the Democrats about the presidential election. Now let's look at the date on this. I just want to look at the date because it pays no. This was July 11th, so this was pre um, assassination attempt, right? So this is allowing us to see what was going on as it set up as it came to the climax. So let's look. So it says that they've given a warning to the Democrats against ahead of the pivotal press conference for President Joe Biden. It says that Democrats remain divided, you understand, about whether Biden should step aside from the race after his debate performance against Donald Trump last month. Right? Sounding hoarse, Biden 81 stumbled through the answers, yada, yada, yada. We know. Now it says, listen, an increasing number of high profile Democrats, including several members of Congress, have urged Biden to withdraw from the race, urging him to have a candidate like Kamala should better be suited to run against Trump. Some are waiting to see how Biden handles a press conference about NATO summit. So that happened. We saw Biden in the NATO summit last week, and he didn't do as bad as he did in the debate, but he wasn't the greatest. He's still showing signs of weakness. So it says the polls show that Trump is ahead, a lead over Biden, as well as other Democratic candidates. Right. So we looked at this. I'm re-emphasizing this. Okay. I'm re-emphasizing this. I'm trying to find. Okay, so it's just saying that meanwhile, Alex Soros, the chair of the nonprofit Open Society Foundation. I just want y'all to remember these names. Okay, formerly known as X, urged Democrats to unite around Biden. Let's stop running against ourselves and run against the existential threat that is Donald Trump. You see, the threat. He's a threat to Donald Trump. Okay. Donald Trump is not, I know this is an election year. I know things get tense. But Donald Trump is a very big threat that they just don't know how to handle. He doesn't seem to go away. So, with that being said, I want to show you guys this tweet on X. Okay. Now, 17 absolute redux or redo 76. It says that Jesse Waters told us to dig on the building. So we're talking about the building that the alleged shooter was on top of. Okay. So they want to look at what's going on. So it says that building is owned by AGR, or American Glass Research. They specialize in manufacturing and of various glass products. They were bought out by Indicor in March. Indicor CEO is Doug Wright, whom used to work for Raytheon, and I'm not sure, I've not really heard of this. Ingersoll Rand, okay, which is a former defense contractor with much shadiness attached, as he says. He said that he also worked for Honeywell. Honeywell and Raytheon both refused to donate to anyone voting against certifying Biden. So now let's get to Soros. It says that he doesn't think it's a coincidence that Soros tweet feature a pic of broken glass and the would-be assassin fired from the top of a damn glass factory. That's what he said. So let's look at this picture. It's saying that last year, the crime and inflation crisis largely evaporated. That doesn't sound right. I don't know what he's talking about. I know inflation didn't seem to evaporate. So it says, so did the leading theories about what had caused them. So he tweets this. When did he tweet this? He tweeted this on 1/21/24. So he tweets that he's making a connection, stating that these people are sending signals to us. Okay, so they showing Indicor being Indicor, a leading diversified industrial company providing specialized, mission critical technologies to customers across a variety of niche markets, is pleased to announce their acquisition of AGR. And the thing about this is, there are so many like big companies that really own a lot of smaller companies, and we really have no idea who owns what. So it's always good for us to research who owns a company, because 9 times out of 10 they are probably owned by a bigger conglomerate company, right? So you guys can look at that. We kind of discussed that. He's just giving the picture. It says, notably, the shooter's location was outside the security perimeter, raising questions about both the size of the perimeter and efforts to sweep and secure the American Glass Research Building. And now the shooter was able to obtain rooftop access. So when I'm reading that, I'm saying, did they purposely uh, uh, not allow this perimeter to be secure? Did they purposely not secure the American Glass Research, because they might have had ties that were linked to what the shooter was going to do? Now, like I said, all this is alleged, okay, but it gives you something to think about, because like I said, we all think it's pretty odd that a 20-year-old boy out of nowhere is just going to start shooting at a former president. Now, we all don't know what was going on in his head, but some of these things are tying to something much bigger than the shooter. And it usually is. Anytime there's a shooter, there's usually the patsy that is, used for a bigger agenda, right? So let's keep on looking at it. Let's look at this. Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Huntington, Ingalls Industries, Leidos, and BAE are all giving again, while Honeywell, General Electric, Raytheon, and Booz Allen Hamilton are not giving. According to their most recent filings, Honeywell and GE had said they would not suspend donations to the 147 members of Congress who voted against certifying Biden's win. So I just want you to take that into consideration. There are a lot of people who definitely do not want Trump back in office. But because they missed, whether it was done on purpose or not, I think it's created a bigger popularity with Trump at this point. Trump is now untouchable. He's like Tupac, I've been shot at and survived. It's going to be hard to deal with him at this point. So let us look at some more points, okay? So the other tweet says, let's look at this. Let's get this straight. So let's look at everything that's going on. So it says that the shooter at the Trump rally was spotted acting suspiciously near the event. So we all heard that. If you didn't understand that, people saw the shooter. spectators saw the shooter. They said authorities announced over the radio to keep an eye on him. And this info was passed on to the Secret Service. The shooter made it to the roof. Made it to the roof with a full rifle kit. As two witnesses saw him, and they say they are telling authorities and screaming about him for estimated 3 to 4 minutes. A standard sniper spotter team tasked with covering such a critical direction waits an estimated 42 seconds after looking directly at the shooter, allowing him to take 5 shots at Trump. The Secret Service decides it's okay to keep Trump on the stage for an extended period of time, where he's able to face and actually address the crowd with an active shooter. Now, I ain't gonna lie, where do they do that? Because usually, I mean, hell, Drake got better security than that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you start shooting or something, they're gonna automatically rush you off the stage, rush you out of there. The Secret Service didn't think of securing the high point and advantage area over the event. Things that make you say, yeah, what do you really think happened here? Was it really staged, y'all? Was it really staged? In the world we live in today, anything is possible. Unfortunately, we live in a society that plots against the people of that country, that do not have the best interest for the American people, and would go at great lengths to eliminate competition. And it is sad that the majority of people don't even think. It's like whatever the news says, whatever whatever the coverage is that they're comfortable with, they'll go for it. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna jump off of here probably, but when JFK was assassinated, the American people died. Their consciousness was laid to rest because the American people allowed the assassination of the president, and they kept going on with their daily lives to the point where anything can happen in this society and we just shrug our shoulders and do not fight back. So I hope you guys understand, and I hope you enjoy what's going on. I hope you enjoy the message. Like I said, please subscribe. Please donate. I appreciate all the donations that we do receive, and I do appreciate the people who have made purchases of our books and products. So, with that being said, it's your fellow brother, your Moorish kin, getting up out of here. I'll check y'all out on the next video. Tuta Anana. Peace.